Page 16, Jolly Little Penguins. They're introducing you to a thing in music we call a key signature. I hope you understand everything we've covered so far because we're just getting deeper and deeper. So if you're confused about things, please don't go any further. Go back and review everything. Make sure you understand it. You're welcome to ask questions. The key signature. We have different keys. Now, the word key has different meanings. This just gets funner and funner, don't it? You see, each of these things on a piano is called a key, a piano key. Okay. Well, forget that. That's not what we're talking about here. This key has a whole different meaning as far as key signature. We're talking about the overall harmony. A harmony is when you can hear two or more notes at the same time. There's harmony there. That's what we're talking about, a certain set or pattern of notes that is related to a particular harmony. That's a very vague definition, but I don't want to get into it more than what I absolutely have to get you to understand a key signature. Each note, white and black, has its own key signature. We've been using all the white keys so far. Well, we've been using the B flat. Forget the B flat right now. Let's just go back to the white keys we've been using. The key signature for that is the key of C major. Didn't bother to show it to you or talk about it because until they start talking about scales and all, it's not going to help you. But now they're talking about F major, the key of F major. F major is all these white keys, except for the B, it's a B flat, so it's using these keys. These are the notes used in the key of F major. Now they could be anywhere on the piano. Don't get locked into that particular. It's just, the point is it's these keys. It's got an F flat, or a B flat. Memorize it. F major is one flat, it's a B flat. It'll make more sense when we get to the scales, but they're not doing scales yet. I don't want to get into that. Let's just focus on this. What this means is they show you the flat. I want to look at the music. Let's look at this penguins thing at the bottom of the page. At the beginning of the lines there, after the clef sign, you see the flat sign. This is where the key signature goes. So you have a clef sign, a key signature, and a time signature. They're always in that order. They're always going to be there. You've always had a key signature, you just didn't know it. And I didn't point it out because the book hadn't gotten to it. But I'm going to point it out now because it's there. And the first flat is always a B flat in the key signature. If you look at the top staff there, that middle line, I don't think you've had that note yet. That middle line is a B above middle C. That is a B. Middle C is here and that is here. So that flat sign is on that line specifically to tell you that it's a B flat. If you look at the lower staff, that B flat is, and the next to the lower line, well, you haven't had the note yet, but when you do, you'll find it's a B. We've had the C, but this B is right under it. And that flat sign is there to tell you it's a B flat. So those flat signs are where B's would be. Too many B's in that, isn't it? But it means that all the B's in the piece are automatically going to be played as B flats. This way they don't have to put accidentals. They don't have to put flat signs in the music. They just put it at the beginning, and it's understood all the B's are going to be that way throughout. Flats. So if you look at the third measure, there in penguins, and the bottom staff you have a B, that is a B flat. Even though it doesn't have a flat sign, it does have a flat sign because it's in the key signature. So you just have to remember now, what key am I in? You know, how many flats are in this key? I got to do that. Well, the first flat in the key signature is always a B, so you're going to have that. Now, you've always had key signatures all along because you've had this key of C major, all white keys. But the key of C major doesn't have any sharps or flats in it, So if you look at the top key signature in the music, it's empty. There's nothing there. That's why I didn't bother to point it out. Because one of the things we have to look at in learning a new piece of music as we look it over is the key signature. I haven't mentioned it before because they didn't talk about key signatures. I could have said, and what's the key signature? When they would say, well, there's no sharps or flats in it, so it's C major. Here, we got to say what's the key signature, and it's got one flat, that's the key of F major. So let's go through a routine. This is one line long, treble and bass clef, one flat in the key signature when the key of F major. See, I got to add that to the routine now. 4/4 time signature, and I see quarter notes, half notes, and whole notes. I'm going to take it one hand at a time, make sure we understand what the hands are doing. In the right hand, we're here, and the half notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. That's not too hard. And then the last two measures, when the right hand plays, it's quarter notes. Okay, that's not bad. The left hand starts here. And this is the only finger number you need in the left hand. You can cross those other finger numbers out. Please don't be reading finger numbers. You're just right here. And it's here. Remember the B flat. So that's the left hand. Then you put them together here. And now the position isn't this anymore. The position is this. You see, when they put it in the key signature, that becomes the position. So because the B flat's in the key signature, that is the position here. If they want a B natural, they have to use a natural sign. Remember the natural sign? Yeah, there isn't any, but yeah. So the position is actually this. So it's here. And then together it's these. Together, hold that down in the knees. And then it's left hand, and so forth, and you put the hands together. Then go back through and get rid of the hesitations, and try and get this where you don't have to look at the keyboard. Where your index finger is always on the black key here. Now, you're not moving around, you're here. So hopefully that'll help. And then once we have that, we can think about the interpretation. 4/4 time. 1, 2, 3, natural X. 1, 2, 3. Natural accents. 1, 2, 3, 4. I exaggerate them up first to make sure I can feel them okay, and then once I have them, I just feel them. And they're very slight. You have to listen very carefully. Very slight. Then I can think about the phrasing. Well, it looks to me like it's in two phrases because there's a period after zoo at the whole note here. So I'm going to lift up. Lift up like taking a breath. Lift up. So put in the phrasing. And then I might think about bringing out the melody. Actually, I would do the melody first before the phrasing. I want to know where the melody is. You see, the melody is what it's all about. The melody rules. The melody is what we're after. The melody is what we're listening for. The melody is what's important. The melody tells everybody else what to do, all the other stuff. Well, here, the melody is going back and forth between the hands because you can see the words. If the words were not there, then I might lose track of where the melody is. I'm not sure. But with the words there, I know the melody goes in the right hand because there's a word for each of those notes. And that tells me that's melody. So it's here. That's melody right there. That's what I want to hear. So in the third measure, this is going to be soft. I want to hear that. Well, that's a challenge. Good luck with it, but it's important you start to develop this. In the second measure, you have melody. In the third measure, it's back up, soft. Can you do that? Louder and then soft all of a sudden. You have more weight on the C's, and And then the B flat is just very light here because the weight's now going to the right hand. And that's light here because I want to hear that. And then now the left hand's melody again. And now the right hand and the left hand's soft. So the left hand is heavy and then light, and then heavy and then light. And the right hand, when it plays, is all melody, so it's always a little on the heavy side. So work on that and see if you can bring out the melody. As far as how fast it goes, that's up to you. Now you might say, wait a minute, there's a comma there in third to the last measure. Here, there's a comma there. Well, do you want to lift up or not? I don't know, experiment and see. Does it sound like a phrase? Does this another phrase? In my mind, no, it doesn't. It's not a complete thought in itself. Therefore, I would not separate those. So I would play this as two phrases. Let's play it together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to bring out the melody. I'm going to play them all about the same, but I am going to lift up for the phrasing. After the whole note in the middle of the line, I'm going to lift up there like taking a breath for the phrasing. So I'll give us 4 counts. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.